Have you checked out ChevetteReport.com? It's the newest cigar media outlet to keep you in the know with all things cigar lifestyle related. From press releases to reviews, we have it all covered. Be some of our first members to join ChevetteReport.com and be a part of the next step in the cigar culture. ChevetteReport.com. Welcome into another Chief Talk. We were gone for a week, and look, you all came back. We have already surpassed 22 people on the stream, so we continue the streak 26 out of 26 weeks in 2025. Coming in hot and heavy. Welcome into the show, everybody. I missed you all dearly. So let me say a quick hello and welcome back to Matthew B., Gary, Zanestra, Charles Adamson, the Gary Brooks, Michael Zakovec. Good to see you second time this week, my brava. Supremo Tobacco, Matt Brugger, welcome into the show. Cigar Pop, welcome in Banker John. Photos de Puro, Cigar Brava, what is going on? Hope you are doing well. Welcome into the show. Rick Carroll, Fireborn, Chi Town Cigar Podcast. I was just on their show on Tuesday. Banger show. Go back and find it after tonight. Go watch it. It was a hoot and a half. Really enjoyed the show. My man Jay Bates, welcome in. Charles Adamson, a sim coming in hot from traveling around the world. I tell you what, the sim, you and Miss Christy, y'all are just jet setters. I am jealous of y'all's travels and everything that you guys get to eat when you go. Brett Kelly, welcome into the show. How are you doing? Let me get that music and turn it off right there. They changed up the screen around on me since I've been gone. So when I hopped on here, I was like, oh crap, everything's different. Everything's moved around. I actually need to add another thing in here as well because, as you all know, I was on vacation last week. And because I was on vacation, I took a lot of photos, and my mom was in here. The first lady of Bob the Cigar Guy, she was in here, and we were sitting here talking about pictures and family stuff that we did while we were gone. And I looked down, and we had 53 seconds for the show to start. I was like, holy crap, Bob the Cigar Guy actually almost muttered a bad word, but it was pre-show, so still family-friendly. Speaking of Bob the Cigar Guy, let me get in here, get this off. Cigars Unbanded, welcome into the show. Glad to have you here with us. Before we do get any farther into the show, I do want to say a big thank you to Drew Estate Cigar, Natura Cigar, making sure that we are broadcast to you every single week this year. Big shout out to the family over at Drew Estate and the family at Natura Cigar. Actually, Natura Cigar has an event going on right down the street. Well, it's actually a little farther down the street from us. So Making Poor Decisions, who probably will not be here because his show runs till, well, his thing runs till 9 o'clock. So there's a chance he could pop in here, but I was kind of sad that he had an event in my area on a Thursday and I couldn't even make it. My actual brother, Nick Jones, welcome in. How are you doing this evening? Glad to have you. Glad to see you. Hope you're doing well. And before we bring in our studio guest this evening, I want to know, what are you smoking? What are you drinking? Because I haven't been able to say that in 2 weeks. So I'm glad I'm able to say that. I missed you guys and gals, or for any gals who are here. I missed you all. I really hated being gone last week. Now, let me come over here, change up the background just a little bit, bring myself over here, pop on Bob the Cigar Guy. Welcome into the show. How are you doing, Bob the Cigar Guy? Oh, wait. There you go.
Hello, everybody. I still have my glasses on. Let me get my glasses.
Because you're old.
I am. I was having to look at little things on my phone and I couldn't see. So, Chief, welcome back. Welcome back. I missed our Thursday quality time together.
I honestly thought that there was a part of you that was going to try to live stream last week.
I was going to live stream, but I said, you know what? Because it was more of a selfish thing. Because I just said, you know what? I like the Chief Talk experience. I like hanging out, and I know it won't be Chief Talk, but I could come on and I could be a filler. And I'm like, that could step on your toes. And I know you wouldn't say that. I can't believe you did that. But this is your Thursday.
I did call you. I did call you and encourage you to do it.
You did, but I decided
my
not
remote
to.
is from my fancy lights over here, but I can't find it.
He has no remote for his fancy lights, ladies and gentlemen.
It's fine. It usually just lights up my background a little bit, but it must have got moved when you were like moving everything around the studio while I was gone.
I can't believe you didn't blame me for messing up the StreamYard.
No. I don't know. I mean, did you move it around? Did you change it?
No.
Okay, so it just updated. Okay, which is good. Updates are good.
I stay out of your area. I even, because you do the banners with a little scroll across the bottom and all that stuff, and I was using it for all the videos, and I was starting to clutter up the workspace.
Yeah, there were a lot of them.
Chief, and so we actually came to an agreement where we said, hey, I'm just going to leave 3 up there as consistent and static, and the rest I'll just keep using and disappearing. So working on this and trying to do a good job at it. So I don't want to do something that benefits my content, the review content, I should say, and then hamstring the Chief Talk content.
It didn't mess me up too bad. It was just like, oh, okay. Luckily, it's still kind of all in the same spot, so it wasn't too terribly much of a change. It was just like, oh, that's different. Let's see. Also, as you're telling us what you're smoking, what you're drinking, in the comments, how was your 4th of July week last week, Papa Cigar? How was your 4th of July? What did you do?
Reviews.
Oh,
the first lady went and met up with Gracie and the kids down in Alabama and Florida. And she met with her aunt and her sister, and they had a big soiree. I stayed home and watched the dogs, worked on the bathroom, got the toilet in, got the vanity in, got the mirrors up.
Are you able to actually use the restroom downstairs now? Or?
Yes.
Wow. So your thighs are like happy now?
No, because I pee off the porch. Let's be honest. I mean, come on.
Is that what that stink is in the backyard?
No, I move in different spots.
Oh, okay. I wondered why you didn't have to worry about cutting grass for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I know it made it nice and easy in those spots, but the rest of it real good.
No need to weed eat whenever you've got weed killer.
And if it really got bad, we have a scooper that comes for the dogs once.
Because all you do is drink Diet Coke, so I'm sure your urine's nice and acidic for the grass.
Excuse me, hang on just a second. This is brought to you by Diet
Pepsi. Sorry, I forgot it was inferior.
Mr. Cheerwine.
An inferior brand. Oh, that's funny. Michael Carter would enjoy that.
See how that works?
Let's see. Supreme Tobacco says, no smoke in the office, but enjoying a cold Mountain Dew Zero.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Supreme Tobacco said you were looking good with the old bifocals on.
Yeah, they're not bifocals. They're just readers.
Trifocals, because you're old. Rick Carroll, Dominicana, and an A&W root beer. Ron Maggio, I finally remembered you guys are on now. Hey, we are. Welcome into the show, Ron. Glad to have you back. Michael Zakvek says it did update last week. Of course, it pulled an update when I was gone.
Ron Maggio will be back in the country soon.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's coming back.
Chi-Town also saying that StreamYard did do an update. Hey, speaking of Chi-Town, this 2 days ago, Tuesday, I was on the Chi-Town Cigar podcast. So if you want to be able to find it and you're watching on YouTube right now, click on their name. It'll take you over to their channel. Subscribe to them. Go back and watch that video after tonight. We did have a couple people. We had 2 road dogs that were over there hanging out.
Semi-Flow jump over?
No, Semi-Flow wasn't there, but we had Ron and George pop over there.
All right.
Fireborn, he's always over there, so he was hanging out with us. He was pretty good. He's pretty salty, Mr. Salty. So let's see. Gary Brooks says, "Good news, Bob. The new tax break for cars includes anything with final assembly the U.S.
And we got some new cars dropping."
Semi-Flow says, "Good evening, everybody." The J-Bait says it's just dead grass. It's not from the dogs. It's from old Bob the Cigar Guy. The Cigarage says not smoking or drinking anything tonight. Oh, come on, light something up, pour something.
The Cigarage, Pete Totaro just posted up, I think it was today, that they received over 500 cigars in a check or 500 cigars from the Cigarage, the Cigarage Festival.
Nice, the event they put on a couple weeks ago. Nice.
About 3 weeks ago now.
Nice. Jay Bates is not smoking tonight, but he's got a Rogue 6 milligram peppermint in. Gary Brooks says Diet Pepsi blows. Get Pepsi Zero.
I can't stand Pepsi Zero.
Chi-Town says smoking a Jasum Kralot. Nice. Brett Kelly not smoking anything currently. Enjoying a nice cold Dr. Pepper though. That's what I'm talking about. My man. Michael Zakovec's going with the Ojoy de Nicaragua Cinco de Cinco in a Reposado. Fireborn is starting a Man of War Damnation. Wow, I haven't had that cigar in a long time.
Long time.
That's a good cigar, though.
It's a good cigar.
I have not seen that cigar in a long time.
Solid price point, too.
Fireborn says it was an amazing show on Tuesday. Chief was good, too. Thanks. Appreciate that. Dan Burns got an Arizona tea and a Rogue 6 milligram wintergreen. Let's see. Gary Brooks says, "Is that why the mud is out back too, bud?" He ain't talking about the clay. He's talking about the biodiversity. 510. Awesome.
And there was 70, 80 people there. So if you think about it, that's huge. And the way they did it is you could pay $5 for a raffle ticket, or each cigar you donated a raffle ticket. You got a raffle ticket. So there were some fellers there. This one feller, he had enough. He looked like he was the guy at the Barn Smoker every year with sheets of tickets. I mean, he had tickets everywhere.
Shout out to Mr. Sheets. So tonight we are going to be focusing on new cigars for us. And are you already lit one up, or is that a different cigar?
I'm finishing up the Norteño.
Oh,
big old 6x60
shout out
box
Photos
press.
de Puros
6x60 box press.
Nice. So I know what cigar I'm going to smoke tonight, but I do have when I was on vacation, a little backstory here. When I was on vacation, when I go on vacation down to where my wife is from, I always stop in at my favorite cigar shop in the whole entire world. It's the cigar shop that you and I have been to together at the launch of the Stillwell line with Steve Saka. It's Smoking Pipe. Well, I can't say smoke. I can't say that because that has a dot and then an additional 3 letters after it. But Low Country Pipe and Cigar down in Myrtle Beach, actually North Myrtle Beach, is my favorite spot in the whole entire state. Not only do they have a great selection, they just have a great atmosphere. They got real good people. Shout out Tyler.
Solid humidor.
Right. The humidor is great. And so while I was down there, I picked up a bunch of cigars that were new to me. But Tyler handed me a cigar that's brand new this year. And I do believe it is a rebrand of a terminated brand out of Crowned Heads, but this is the Crowned Heads Broadway. Let me move my hand here so it doesn't focus on my face. You get the blue light from Bob the Cigar over there. This is the Crowned Heads Broadway. It might be the rebirth of the La Patissier. And then I picked up a whole bunch of other cigars that are new to me. They're not necessarily from this year, but I also stopped in at a local shop right down the road from my house 2 days ago. and I picked up and this is what I'm going to smoke tonight. I picked up the AJ Fernandez Decenio. New
heard
cigar.
good things about that cigar.
They launched out of PCA this year. If I do remember our PCA coverage, it is. It's a nice big old box press Toro. And then today, I knew these would be here. But the two shops that I visited in the last week both suggested this cigar to me. And it is the Black. Is it Blackworks? Black Label. This is the Black Label Aletto. Real cool, like old school metalhead writing on it with the Avea Negra, the black sheep on the top of it. I've heard really good things about the cigar, so I'm excited to smoke that one. But these are all cigars that were released this year. But I had already planned on smoking the AJ. But it was funny when both shops reached out, they were like, "Hey, we just got these Blackworks Aletto in. Do you want to buy a couple?" And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're going to be waiting on me once I get back because Blackworks. Hey, you're not smoking the right cigar. Is that number guy?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to smoke that.
Why?
Because you're supposed to smoke a new to you cigar this year, and you already had one sitting on your desk because I was like, "Hey, what are you going to smoke?"
A new to me cigar this year.
Yes. And I said, "What are you going to smoke tonight?" And you said, "What?" I said, "What new do you have to smoke for tonight?" And you were like, "Oh, I have this." And you held up a 5-pack of cigars, and I was like, "Okay,
it's a 4-pack." But yeah, okay, I'll put that down. Because this will smoke later.
The old Lumbergog trick. You pulled a fast one on us. So, Bob Cigar, you're going to be smoking. Now, I'm not sure if this is a brand new this year cigar, or it's definitely new to us.
It's the third series of the Escurio line. It's the third season, if I'm not mistaken, on this cigar. No, sorry. I've been doing too many reviews.
So this is
so many reviews. That's
this is
the Aganorsa.
He's going to have the Davidoff Escurio.
Tubo.
So
Robusto, if I'm not mistaken.
I also have a pack over here, so it's easy for me to just show you guys what it is. But yeah, he was going to cheat and go with the Umbagog tonight.
Way to go. I just reviewed the cigar. That's how come you have the ones over there, because he sent me those cigars, and the rule in the studio is that we don't get to do the cigars until I review the cigars. We don't get to smoke the cigars, and then we're done. In case.
So he holds all the good stuff off. I rarely get the good stuff.
Sometimes manufacturers only send us a few cigars. It's not often, but sometimes.
Ooh.
And so if the first cigar has poor construction, or I have to stop, or I forgot to cut the camera on.
Hey, we got 31 people in the show tonight. So congratulations, we hit that number. First show back, by the way.
Maybe you need to be going more often.
I should. So it's to interrupt you. I have said this. I haven't said it in a while, but I've said it before. For those who are Chief Talk watchers a long time, thank you. When a cigar has multiple bands on it, I am more intrigued. I love a cigar that's got a lot of bands on it. Big bands, ornate bands. Sometimes bands can be detracting, and the cigar just, was more band than it was cigar. But this AJ Decenio has 3 bands on it. It's got 2 at the top and 1 at the bottom. And the one at the bottom I think is really cool because it's got some writing on the inside of the band. So if you end up picking up the AJ Decenio, check out the inside of the footband. All right, sorry, go ahead.
I forget what I was talking about.
Good one. Good one. Appreciate that. Now for 4th of July, I do want to know if I'll try to go back through the comments because I know I asked that question a long time ago and I haven't looked at many comments since things we've been talking, and I've been talking about the cigar. My 4th of July was great. Thanks for asking, Bob.
You haven't stopped talking.
I did set off some fireworks. I did keep all of my fingers.
That's good.
I didn't buy a ton of fireworks. I need to remember every year that Gary Brooks is like, his family's in the fireworks business. I just need him to send me a box of them. Like, ooh, oops, this box accidentally got sent down to the beach. Of course, there we go. But I did set off a little bit of fireworks, some nice big booms in the sky. It was fun. The kids really enjoyed it, but it was a nice break down there at the coast and getting to hang out and swim in the pool. All 3 of my kids are now non-floaty swimmers, which is crazy because I have a 3-year-old. But he took to water like a fish. Now we put the floaties on him for most of the day, but at some certain points we'll take them out of their floaties and they swim across the pool, no problem. As long as there's adults in the pool, we do it responsibly, do it nice. But no, that was a lot of fun. Got a lot of fun pictures from that. that was really fun, getting the kids doing cannonballs into the pool. And my oldest learned why you don't stand with your back to the pool and then just fall into the pool like a board. He learned really quickly why you don't do that.
Schmack.
Oh yeah, that was tears for about 5 minutes.
Schmack.
It hit hard. Matt Dominguez, welcome in. Mike, welcome into the show as well. Matt says, for my 4th, I took the wife and daughter to the Savannah Bananas game at Fenway. Yeah, he saw somebody who looked a lot like me there. He sent me a picture like, you got a twin? It's like, dog, that might be me. That's pretty close. Gary Brooks smoking an Umbagog now, so he is forgiven.
Thank you, Gary. I didn't even know Gary smoked cigars. Did you know Gary smoked cigars?
You know, I will say, Gary Brooks, of probably the 50 cigars a week that get posted onto the Discord, Gary's 27 of them.
I think Gary is expecting,
and I'm appreciative of that. He keeps it going.
I think he's thinking he's going to be going to prison or something like that real soon, so he wants to smoke through his stash before he has to go.
Look, Gary is in a place of the world where it gets really cold in the middle of fall, and it stays really cold all winter. So he's got to get in his winter, into fall and winter smokes in
his
now.
Quota, his summer quota.
So stop posting the picture, like all of your pictures. Just post 50% of your pictures now, and then post the other 50 during the wintertime. They're like, what? How are you still in the pool? It's like, dog, I'm built different. Matt Domingo says, I'm looking forward to Chief's return to the Connecticut Barn Smoker next month. Yeah, baby. Now, I will say, I was talking to Jay Bates about this, Bubba Cigar Guy. The last time there was a 2-day event in Connecticut, I almost died.
You did almost die.
So I gotta make sure I let you know when I'm dying this time.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Chaizown says he's got a box of the Aletos on the way. Nice. Did you just buy the box just to buy the box, or had you smoked one? Or are you just an AJ fan and you're like, I'm getting this no matter what? Yeah, rip to the Crown Heads bands. I'm not a big fan of the rebrand. Mike Strasburg, welcome into the show. How are you doing this evening? Mike Morton, you good gentlemen tried the Shimley line of cigars? I have not, Mr. Mike.
Neither
Morton.
have I. I haven't.
Let's see. Gary Brooks says, I still have my OG Stillbell boxes from there that I shared with Bob the Cigar Guy.
My man.
It was fun. When I was sitting at the lounge, they have the big Saka like we have, or big Saka Squatch like we have, and right in front of it they have a signed Stillwell box, and I was like, I could replicate that same exact thing in our studio because we have the signed Stillwell box, we have the Saka Squatch. Let's see. Gary Brooks says, I just ordered a box of the Hoya de Nicaragua Antonio, maybe? Or is it Antonio? It's probably Antonio. It's Viva Delicioso, baby. Mac Bergson's got a Citrus Rogue 6 milligram and a Dr. Pepper Zero. Nice. Let's see. Oh, geez. Some a-hole robbed Liz's sister at gunpoint after the 4th because he thought they had cash. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
I hope she's okay, and I hope they catch the a-hole. Supreme Tobacco is a big fan of bananas. Legit doppelganger. I got to post the pic in the DE group for verification. No, it was close. It was very close. Let's see. Matt Domingo says, pace yourself. Yeah, I gotta make sure the cigars go in slow. And actually, last time it was just I danced my heart away that whole entire weekend. I put my body under immense stress, and I wasn't taking care of my physical health and my heart. So it said, okay, I'm gonna take a little break on you. Luckily, everything is okay now. No Irish goodbyes and no beer for you. Let's see. Chi-Town says he's going into the Aletos blind, but I love everything from Black Label Trading. It was the Aletos. Sorry, not the Decenios. Or did you say Decenios? Maybe I'm just my brains. Oh, yeah, he said Aletos. Sorry, I said the Decenio. I saw Aleto, thought Decenio. I've heard really good stuff about the Aleto, so I'm really looking forward to smoking that. The two that I have. Banker John's enjoying the Perdermo Legacy line. All great sticks. Huge fan of bananas. Yes, he is. Cigarage says, any thoughts on the Cohiba Spectre 2025, $150 per stick or entire 10 count humidor for a measly $1,500? Any cigar that is that expensive, for me, in my opinion, is overrated. I don't think a cigar should cost that much. I'm sure there's somebody out there that'll sound clip it and bite it and be like, "Oh, look at this idiot." I'll happily take the accolade of idiot for that. When Steve Saka says that his $100 cigars shouldn't be $100 cigars, I got to go with the man who says that. I think I don't know. Paying anything over $30 a cigar is wild to me. Now I get it.
Senator.
You get some cigars out there that have, double sherry cask, backside of France, Bordeaux, cheese grinds on the barrel, and it's fancy tobacco and whatever. Okay, whatever. I'm happy. I would rather spend my money on. I'd rather buy what, $6.5 $20 Liga number 9s than $150 Cohiba. So that's my opinion on it. Dan Burns says Miss Diana wants me to get a hold of Corona and get some 10s, Acid Plush and Liga 9. Ooh, love the 10s.
I love the 10s.
Matt Berger says this Adventura Blue Eye Jack's Revenge Maduro is hitting on all cylinders. That is a good cigar. That's a really good cigar.
Great cigar.
Dan Burns says he'll be having an hour drive to and from work soon, so I'm going to get some drive home cigars.
Well, might I suggest on Fridays at 5, you can watch I Got the Smokes, Let's Ride.
It'd be 2 o'clock for him.
BTCG.
2 o'clock for him because he's over on the West Coast.
Sponsored by Corona Cigar.
Matt Dominguez says, I just picked up the Plasencia Alma de Cielo. Going to smoke it tonight for the first time. Any thoughts? Bob Cigar has smoked it. I have not. And I forgot to take mine down to the beach.
Delicious.
I said 2 weeks ago, maybe it was 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago we had On Fawn on. That's a fun way to say it. On Fawn on. I had said that I was planning on taking some cigars down to the beach that I hadn't smoked before because I wanted to have some time to smoke them. And I didn't take any of the cigars that I planned on taking. I just took cigars that I wanted to smoke. And the reasoning behind it was, one, I forgot about the Alma de Cielo.
He ransacked the humidors.
I took what was mine. Thank you.
Ransacked the humidors.
I took what was mine. I only smoked 4 of my cigars.
Yeah, but they left here.
Yeah, I mean the rest of them are in at my house right now. They're gonna get smoked.
Yeah, so you took like 100 cigars. You smoked 4. So
not that many.
More
not
at your
that
house.
many. Only about 60% of that.
2 boxes of Liga H99s.
That'd have been dope. I would have loved that, but I didn't have nearly as much time. And I thought about that going into it. Is like, what if I don't have the time? And then what happens if something happens to the cigars? I just leave the ones that I need to smoke at home, and I'll just need to find some time to smoke them at home. I got half the year left. Right. That's kind of what tonight is. It's like, oh, let's do a show where we're smoking cigars, that are new to us. Now, you've already smoked that Davidoff, so you're kind of cheating, right? You're not smoking brand new.
Correct.
So you're cheating a little bit. But I am going with this AJ Fernandez Decenio for the first time. And so far it's been great, but I've barely smoked anything. And it's out. Bob Cigar, manage some comments for a little bit so I can light up the cigar, will you?
I'll do it. Let me see. Michael Z says, sounds great, Matt. And then Gary Brooks says, General Cohiba can't own the name anymore. That's a mess. I don't even know how to jump off into that. But yeah, it's I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like the fact that companies knew that Cuba couldn't sell cigars in America, so they just stole the name so that they could have the starter clout.
Cohiba, Romeo, Macanudo,
right. Punch, all that stuff. But Cuba can't sell cigars here, and I don't see why they should have the freedom to say, well, you can't say my name. That's I don't know about that.
I don't know. It kind of infringes upon their likeness a little bit. I mean, how would you like if there was a Bubba the Cigar Guy in France?
I'd be down with that if I couldn't go to France. If I could not shoot videos in France, or if my videos were not visible in France, I don't have a problem with it. Lane Crenshaw, boy, get back to selling cigars. What are you doing, buddy?
I was just saying how you weren't going to be in the studio this evening because you're over there slinging cigars not too far from us.
Chief, this question's to you. What is your favorite budget cigar?
So I don't know if I have exactly a favorite, but I'm going to give a quick shout out to Alec Bradley and the Chunk Maduro. because that's a cigar that I got last year. I think it was my number 5 cigar of the year. And I bought a couple of them in a humidor the other day because they're $5.
I thought your Magic Toast was your favorite Alec Bradley cigar.
No, not even close. Nice try, Bob the Cigar Guy. But at $5, that cigar, I've smoked, 20 plus of those cigars. And they are fantastic cigars. I love those cigars so much. And for the first time yesterday, I had a burn issue on the cigar. Cigar still smoked fine, smoked great. It just burned really wonky, and I could not get it to correct itself without using a torch. But that was the first time that I had a smoking issue with that cigar at a $5 cigar in the 20 plus cigars that I've smoked of them. And I thought, you know what? Umbagog's great. I love Umbagog. $8 cigar. The $6 Chuck, the Nica Rustica Adobe from Drew Estate. Great cigar.
Don't
love
forget your
cigar.
factory smokes.
Factory smokes are great, but factory smokes smoke like a $3 cigar, right? The Chunk Maduro from Alec Bradley smokes like a $12 cigar for me.
Too short.
Okay, it is a short cigar.
Too short.
But it's a 56 or 58 ring gauge.
Too short.
It smokes for an hour if you're not trying to chooch the dang thing down.
Too short.
So for a $5 stick, I mean, you can get 2 cigars at the same of almost, one and a third of an Umbagog, right? And then you start spreading that number out. You can get 3 cigars by the time you get 2 Umbagogs, right? And then, it just continues to go.
Well, I understand budgets be budget, and I get it. But I don't have to smoke cigars. And so I will have some budgets for working in the shop or working in the yard or doing stuff like that. But if I'm going to sit down to smoke a cigar,
but like primarily like sitting down to smoke a budget cigar, not smoking something like a yard gar, again, kind of like you're expecting not to pay a bunch of attention to the cigar, just smoking a budget cigar as your cigar. And that's one of the things we talked about with the budget cigar show a couple weeks ago, is like there are some cigars in the yard gar category that can be sit down, smoke, and have, merry company around. The Umbagog and the Nica Rustica Adobe were the 2 that we agreed upon, for that. The Chunk Maduro is one that I'll throw in there. Yeah, it is a shorter cigar. It's 3.5 inches or something like that. 3, 4. Have you ever tried? Who asked me, I'd say it's 8 inches.
Have you ever tried Cuban rounds?
That's a yard gar. Not a budget cigar that I'm going to sit around with and have.
How about Slaughterhouse? You ever tried Slaughterhouse?
Yeah, I have. Again, another yard gar. I would rather smoke Slaughterhouse over Cuban rounds. Now, another cigar that that is more yard gar, that I would still classify as more of a yard gar, but I could see somebody smoking it as their legit cigar. Tatiscan from JRE, who owns Aladino. Great cigar, a little sweet tip on the cigar. Nice quality smoke.
JFR's got good smokes too at a good price.
The JREs?
JFR? JFR.
Yeah, the JFR. Yeah, the
Aganorsa
Leaf JFR. Actually just put one of those back in the humidor. I had it.
New Cuba's good too.
But no, those who asked that question again? Mike? No. Who asked the question? Yeah, it was Mike. So great question, Mike. Loved it. Let's see, Joey, what is up? What are we smoking? I'm smoking the AJ Fernandez New World Decenio. Brand new out of PCA this year. Picked it up at a local lounge yesterday, 2 days ago, Tuesday. Bob Cigar Guy is smoking the Davidoff Escurio. Making poor decision says, just winding down the event, about to do the drawing, wanted to run it. Mac Bergen says, budget cigar, Crowns for sure. Mike Morton says, anything Charter Oak, all amazing. Matt Domingo says, I agree with Chief on the brand naming issue. In my important, blatant attempt to ride the coattails of the established brand. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I think it was just in due time. Honestly, I'm surprised that those companies were able to keep those names for so long. I was sure, they either would just like the government didn't care enough about it, or they were just, well, we'll just pay
mad
the
at
fee.
Cuba.
We'll pay the fee, right? Because sometimes people do that. It's like, okay, fine. You say we can't do it. If we do it, we have to pay a whole bunch of money. We're just going to pay a whole bunch of money because we don't want to change our brand name. And I don't know what they're going to do. I know they're fighting it. Like, as long as you appeal it, like, you don't get in trouble for it, I guess. Like, as long as you're still stuck in the court system and
did you ever
through all of that.
Did you ever watch the Michael Jordan story?
No.
It was really interesting because, talking about the Nike shoes. And evidently back in that time at the NBA, you had to have over 50% of your shoe had to be white.
Right.
And so they said, we can't do a red shoe. And they said, why? I said, because we have to pay a fine for every
time he wears it.
Every time he wears it. How much is the fine? $5,000. They said, we'll pay it. We'll pay it. And look at the Jordan brand, right?
Sometimes that works, right? Because you're like the $5,000. Oh, who cares about that? Because you see that with like athletes who get fined for like especially in soccer. If you take off your jersey, right, your top, after scoring a goal or whatever, and you have a message on your shirt that is political or religious or something like that, you can get fined for doing that.
Really?
But the fine is only, $20,000. And it's like, well, these guys are making, $50,000 a day, so it's like, okay, hit me with the fine. I only do this, I'm only probably going to do this 3 times this year. So I'll just go ahead and pay the fine. Gearbook says Cohiba never had a name before the embargo. The others, I understand. When Chief is my age, he'll be saying, I love the Magog. It's a great $20 cigar. BTCG is a size queen. He's a snob when it comes to cigars that aren't 6x60s.
No, now, but I don't like the 4-inch long cigars. I don't. I mean, number one, if you have a 4-inch long cigar, most people only smoke to the band, and so you don't smoke 50% of your cigar.
But you don't have to be most people, though, is the thing. Like, you can choose to smoke as far back as you want to.
And you used to stick it in my pipe.
You say that now, but like, you're scoffing at smaller cigars, and I haven't seen you nub a cigar in so long. You used to be like the cigar nub king. Like, look,
only come over to the house.
I can burn this cigar down to my crubby little fingernails. Look at what I can do.
I've got nub tools right here in my little drawers.
Yeah,
right
they're all dusty.
And I mean, I smoke them down. I mean, not smoke them down to where I used to, but I mean, I pull the band, I keep smoking. So
right. Fireborn with the cigar economics with Chief tonight on Chief Talk. Weather dependent. I'll grab a budget stick if it looks like rain. Not a bad idea.
Very smart.
Oh yeah, the devil crabs from West Tampa. Those are dope.
You've had them?
I have not, but I've seen them.
So in other words, you just
I'm saying they're dope just based off of what they look like, right? I wanted them. When we went to the booth, I was hoping that we were going to get some, and they handed us the Circle of Life, which I'm happy about. I haven't had yet. I know that came out last year, but because that was this is the cigar they're debuting this year, right? The Devil Crab, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to get some Devil Crab. Joey Van Norshan says, I'd have to say my go-to budget cigar, besides the one you said, Chief, is the Nica Rustica Broadleaf. Great cigar, heavy cigar. Dan Cruz, welcome in the show. What's the lowest you would spend on an everyday smoke? Oh, free?
Yeah, free 99.
No, if I'm smoking every day, because I don't smoke every day. I smoke enough in a week to say I average 1 per day. But I don't have the luxury, or I don't have the time set aside to smoke every day. My wife would also not appreciate that. But if I was smoking every day and I was buying those cigars, I would not frown at, the low point, $2.50, $3, $4 for a cigar. But also there's a chance that I'd probably look at the box purchases or C-bids or things like that.
Right. That's what I was going to say, the same thing.
For packs of cigars, or like, I want to say, so Smoke Inn has their Summer Osaka going on, or has been going on, or is now done, or whatever. But as you participated in Summer Osaka, the more you spent, the more you got, right? And not in just a sense, the more that you spent of what you spent, you got more on top of what you spent, like just like cigar lounges do for events and things like that. So hitting up those kind of sort of deals, it would be paramount. But box buys, sometimes you get percentages off. Buying around the holidays, like 4th of July, there was
samplers.
I got 17% off for 4th of July last week. Because I don't think you can break it up to 17.76%.
You can also do like you get, and I encourage a lot of people new into cigars that are at work and they talk about getting cigars and they want to start moving into where they're not just buying what they buy at the lounge to take it home and smoke, and they get little humidors or whatever. I'll tell them, say, hey, this guy likes cigars too. Why don't you buy a box and you buy a box and y'all split the box? And so you do a box split. So you're both paying roughly the same amount of money, but you're getting 2 different blends.
Now, here's a good question for you from Cigar Brother. It says, what are your thoughts about the Havana Q by JC Newman? Phenomenal budget
fantastic
smoke.
I think it's great because
you smoked a bunch of those.
It comes in a humidified bag. So if you're a new cigar smoker and you haven't got your humidor set up yet, you haven't went that deep, you can buy 20 cigars at a very fair price and get good smokes, and you don't have to worry about, as long as you don't keep them in your truck. You keep them in your air-conditioned house, but you don't have to worry about all the extra work.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about your hygrometer and your Bovida packs or, making sure that you're full up on, desalinated, distilled water and whatnot. So speaking of, cigars and taste and whatnot, this Decenio is really nice. Very creamy. This is a very medium body cigar so far. The retro doesn't have a lot of sweetness on it. I've retroed a couple times with it, but I'm only in the first third. So, so far, really liking this AJ Decenio.
Man, if you were smoking the chunk, you'd be halfway done.
No. If I had started smoking right at the beginning of the show, probably about halfway done with 42 minutes into the show. So now, obviously, if I'm not hosting a live show, right, where I've got to talk, right, this cigar would be smoked much farther back than it is right now. But that's not the case. I'm hosting a live show. It's called Chief Talk. You've heard of it? Yeah, you have. Gary's interested in the factory throwouts, number 99 by JC Newman. Really good. Let's see. To the nub and beyond. How do you smoke beyond the nub?
Put it in your pipe. Smoke till it's nothing but ash.
But I guess my thing is like beyond the nub is like completed.
Yeah, to where it's nothing but ash.
But it was beyond the nub.
Yeah, so the nub is a little bit of cigar, and if you smoke it to where there's no tobacco left to burn, that would be beyond the nub because there's no more nub. Now, we went and saw, me and the First Lady and Gracie went and saw Chris Stapleton last night.
Whoa.
And they had in their, in the lighting, they had these bubbles. They were, what do you call those things? It's a lighting phrase, and it looks like a lantern. Okay. They had lanterns. I figured it out, but they were on strings and they were all computer done. So they would change in different colors and different places in the air behind them. And one time they were doing a song that was talking about smoking stems. I forget the name of the song, but anyway, and the lights all turned into this, I'm going to call it a cigar, but it looked like a very hand rolled cigar, but it was all white. And then there was a couple yellow brownie issues, and then it would get gray, and then it would keep shrinking, right? Like you were smoking back a cigar, an adult inappropriate cigar, I'd gather. But it just looked like a cigar was disappearing in the lights. It was interesting. I wish I would have videoed it because it would have made more sense. But I see. Yeah, crickets, huh? Did you notice that some of those don't work on the videos?
No.
On some of the recorded videos, the applause doesn't work hardly. The crickets don't work at all. Anyway,
Fireborn says, if I don't nub my cigar, I didn't like it. Mike Morton in Atlanta, hard to find Cheerwine Ale. Got my hands on some stick recommendations to go with it. Ooh,
Leather Rose.
Yeah, with a Cheerwine. I mean, any cigar is really going to go well with
anything
a Cheerwine or a Dr. Pepper. I mean, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper right now.
Anything with the Mexican San Andreas,
in my Burger King cup.
You balance out that pepper from a Mexican San Andreas. I would not drink a Cheerwine with Connecticut Shade. you lose a cigar.
I mean, yeah, there's a chance. But so I guess if I really wanted to like pair, like, oh, this is going to bounce really well off with that. Yeah. Either a really dark, triple Maduro Camacho, right? Something that's got a little bit of oomph with it.
Right.
Or something that kind of blends well with sweet. And the new La Dominicana probably be a good cigar with the sweet cap on that Connecticut shade cigar.
Now I will tell you, I just got done, and I'm in the middle of posting up every day for the next 8 days. We're on day 4 today. The Adventura sampler that I got from PCA, and today was the Queen's
Bob
Pearls. The Queen, but I did them all for review. I did not sit and smoke them.
Oh, I didn't sit and smoke them.
It's business. It's work. Anyway,
so hard.
The Queen's Pearls is a Connecticut with
metal
a Connecticut
band.
No. Yes, the Queen's Pearls is a metal band.
Shout out Sammy Flo.
And the King's Gold are the metal bands, but it is a Connecticut wrapper, Connecticut shade wrapper with a Connecticut shade binder and Dominican fillers.
Ooh, very light.
It had a very mellow flavor to it, but it still had some flavor. And I could even see doing a cheer wine with that, but I think you would lose a little bit of the cigar. You dancing over there, buddy?
I dropped.
Little hot pants?
I got pants. I got athletic shorts on tonight, so they are up a little higher on my thigh than normal. That ash went
camera
straight. Stop. That ash went straight onto my thigh. Like, hey, Matt Dominguez has a very nice little asterisk to add on to the budget smoke line. With at the end of the day, the best budget cigar really depends on your budget, and that can vary because some people's budget cigar, is a Liga Privada. Some people's budget cigar is the Havana and Q. And then some people's budget cigar is kind of right there in the middle where we talk about what's a budget cigar. Now, again, if I'm buying cigars, for an everyday cigar, I might call it an everyday cigar, but I'm not going to be smoking it every day. Right. I'm somebody who might smoke, 7 to 10 cigars in a week. But 4 of those cigars are smoked while I'm here in the studio or on Chief Talk Day. Usually I drive my truck over, smoke a cigar on the way over, in the truck. Then I'll smoke a cigar when I'm here at the studio before the show starts. That's cigar number 2. I might get into a third cigar before the studio or before the show starts, depending on what time I got here to the studio. And then I've got the cigar during the show. Rarely do I get to 2 cigars now. Last 2 weeks ago with On, I did get into both the La Dominicana and the H99. And then I usually, if I'm driving my truck over, instead of my wife's nice Ford Explorer, I'll smoke on the way home. So I could smoke, 4, 5, 6 cigars on Thursday alone. And then I might smoke 2 or 3 cigars the rest of the week. And usually that's around family time outside or doing yard work. It's been so dang hot lately. Family time outside has been short or revolving around a water hose. Garden when it comes to an everyday cigar, I just think of, okay, it's just not the cigar that you sat down with to, celebrate something, right? Just the cigar to for you time, right? That's what the everyday cigar could be. Any cigar can be a yard gar if you hate them enough. Yeah, shout out a couple brands. Gary Brooks says, I smoke too fast sometimes and burn my fingers. Slow it down there, old man. Supreme Tobacco says, that sounds like a fun concert.
Oh, it was great. It was great. And he is not a showman. Chris Stapleton is not a showman.
Well, they're all showmen to an experience.
He really is just a musician because he came out and he played the first. I mean, usually they come out and talk a whole lot and all this other stuff. He came out, started with music, and he did 5 songs back to back to back to back. And then he comes out and he goes, hey, just want to let y'all know, in the time that we have, I'm just going to do my best to play as many songs as I can. And that's what he did. And of course, you introduced the band, but he even introduced the band pretty much through a song. I mean, he did not stop and have conversations and all that stuff. It was very music centered, which was a great concert. It was fantastic.
Glad you had a good time. Gary Brooks says, I won't smoke a cigar. I hate yard gar or not. Yeah, it's like me. I'm not, hoarding Rocky Patels to go smoke, off stream or something like that. Chi-Town says it's called a spliff there, Bob. Your white cigar you're talking about. The factory throwouts are only good in the final third. Just my opinion. Charles Adamson says those songs are about wacky-tobacco.
Yeah.
John Salas, welcome into the show. How are you doing? Bob the Cigar Guy, if you're referring to a stencil over a stage light that creates a pattern or image on the floor, then the term you're looking for is a gobo.
It kind of was like, remember the light bright? It was kind of like the colors were a light bright. Each what did I call it? Lantern was one color, and they changed, of course, but they just kind of was a bunch of dots together, but the dots made smoke going up in the air, and the
seeds and stems. Mac Bergson says,
yeah, seeds and stems.
There are a few opus I'd smoke while cutting the lawn.
Wow.
Smoked a triple Maduro this evening. I love the triple Maduro. That is a fantastic cigar from Camacho. I like it more than the limited 2025. Fireborn says, friends don't let friends smoke seeds and stems. I have no idea. Sammy Flo might. Chief doesn't like it when BTCG is doing the work. The Royal Return of the King's Gold is a banger.
Absolutely. Oh. Which is dropping tomorrow on the Bob the Cigar Guy YouTube channel.
Gary Brooks says, I'm on the last stick of the Aventura sampler. Hope it's good. Sammy Flo says, well, hey, Matt Dominguez, thanks for smoking time tonight. Ron says, I always tell people my favorite cigar is a free cigar. Hey, I'm with you. For the most part. Some people hand me rock patels. Yep, been smoking Dunbarton tobacco interest overseas like a hobo on a hot dog lately. Oh, that means a lot. Like Joey Chestnut. Mike, do you have a favorite monthly sampler? Was looking at Smoke In anything better? I mean, it really just depends on who you want to support. I mean, there are tiers to samplers. I think Smoke In does a really good one. Corona does a good one. There are a few companies out there that do some really good samplers. There are some companies out there that do okay samplers, and then every once in a while they'll just have an insane banger sampler.
Right.
So really, it just kind of comes down to who do you want to support? Because a lot of times those samplers, no matter who makes them, end up with some, cigars you probably wouldn't smoke. But sometimes that's a good thing. They find a way to get rid of the overstock. I think that's pretty much why sampler packs were started.
Well, and you stop box. You don't buy box deep. You get to smoke those first and say, you know what?
Right.
I don't like that one. That's not for me. So,
right. And if you're getting 5-6 cigars for 30, 40, $45, that's a pretty good deal.
Usually the MSRP is usually twice as much as it costs.
You're usually getting a pretty good deal. I mean, we used to partner and do some monthly reviews with Corona with their cigar of the month pack, and we even did a couple Smoke In ones. But it to me really it's just like, I don't know, find one that you want to think about trying and jump into it and see what you got. Michael Zakovic says that Smoke In cigar of the month is great. Dave, welcome to the show. How are you doing? Supremo says, I told myself I wouldn't buy any more cigars, but just picked up a bundle of Serenio's Eleanor Rose, another banger stick. Ooh. Chris Stapleton has a great voice, but I bet that was a great concert. I'm digging Morgan Weiland right now. Love his walkouts. Charles Adamson says, modern legal cannabis has no seeds and stems. I don't think the kids would even get the reference. And that's why I had to tell the kids to get off my yard. Happy I could join. Needed something to listen to while scanning pictures for this weekend's funerals. I knew Chief Talk would bring a smile to my face. Hey, Matt Dominguez, we're glad that you're here, and we're glad Sammy Flo's here. We're glad that everybody's here. Gary Brooks, Socialite King himself. Smoking gives a discount if you like the cigars from the Cigar of the Month and want to buy more. Nice. Definitely glad that you're here with us, Matt. Sorry you're having to go through that. That's a little bit of a bummer of a situation. But hopefully we are able to provide you a little bit of respite during the week. Speaking of providing a little bit of a break, we have this week's stick pick of the week. Every week on Discord, in between Chief Talks, you have the chance to go over there, post pictures of the cigars that you're smoking, cigars that you plan on smoking, cigars while you're smoking them or after you've smoked them, and you just post your pictures up over there, and let everybody know what you sipping on, what you smoking on a little bit. And so every week I call through the photos. Now this one I actually had to go through 2 weeks of photos because I allowed the last 2 weeks, since we didn't have a show last week, to qualify for shows or to qualify for submissions for this week. And so thank you all, one, for posting all your pictures, keeping the Discord popping over there. I mean, it has been just a good spot to be, during the week, see what everybody's smoking, what people are drinking, hobbies they're into or whatnot, hanging out over there. It's been a great time. If you're not a part of the Discord and you want to be a part of the Discord, it is the second link in the description. It is a link that does not expire, so you can join in on that link and come hang out with us throughout the week, and just be a part of the Chief Talk familia. So, new to the Chief Talk Discord, he actually gets in with a great shot, and this is a shot I felt was fitting, because we took the break for 4th of July. But it's our boy Ron, the Road Dog Smith, smoking that Warhead with the red, white, and blue 601 La Bamba. I think it's 601, 501, 601. I don't know. It's the Espinosa Warhead, and he's got it posted up there with his nice chair, and even the flowers are patriotic.
I'm digging that ashtray or that lighter myself.
Oh, yeah, it's got the Bob Cigar Guy lighter on there, doesn't it? That did not sway the vote at all, with the Bob the Cigar Guy. So there were some really good photos in there, but I thought, you know what? Since we took the break for the 4th of July, I thought that was a really good one to go with this week's stick pick of the week. Post a picture of your cigar on Discord to be considered for next week's pick. So no, I haven't had this cigar. But a lot of people did smoke this cigar over the break, but none of them posted a picture quite like this. So Ronald Smith, Road Dog #1, congratulations on being this week's Chief Talk Stick Pick of the Week, Chief Stogie Picture of the Week. And if you want to be considered for any Stick Pick of the Week going forward, post your picture over on the Discord, second link in the description, to be considered for next week's pick. At the end of the year, we're going to go through all these photos. We're going to choose which one we thought was the best, and they're going to receive a nice little care package from Bob Cigar Guy and myself for participating over in the Discord. Let's see. Fireborn posting now. You're a little late there, Fireborn. It's okay. Everything that's posted from the start of Chief Talk to the next start of Chief Talk gets considered. So if there are photos that I feel were redeemable, they will work out. Let's see. Thank you, Fireborn and Gary. Stepfather and grandfather passed in 24 hours. Tough times for mom, for sure. Wow, man. That's rough. Sorry to hear that. Let's see. I don't want to just post up all these comments and make it sad. So congratulations to our Road Dog. He's not here tonight. We've only had one Road Dog show up this evening, Jay Bates, if he's still watching. Usually no, he just kind of keeps us in his ears while he's doing his rounds. But I think that's the second Road Dog who won, because Jay Bates has won a photo. He's won a contest. Gary Brooks says, does the first lady get a vote? I need to include a horse in my pick. If so, no, she does not get a vote. But hey, if you post a pick with a horse in it, now I will say, a bunch of you freaks did do a lot of feet picks this week.
Did they really?
Gary Brooks
pick of the week.
Gary Brooks posted a photo of like him holding a cigar between his big toe and his his ring finger toe.
That messes up the flavor profile, my friend.
Matt Dominguez, don't worry about it, brother. Look, we are here for you. Whatever you get, if you want to talk about it, we will happily talk about it. If you want to talk about some really good memories, whatever, hey, please do.
We're family.
But I definitely don't want to bring you down either. So whatever you got to say, brother, say it. We're here for you. Chief, have you been you have to remind Fireborn a few times he's old and his memory is going. Yeah, he is old. I'll tell you like that. Chief, you liked my pick of the Colorado Rockies, but no mention tonight. I like all of the photos. All the photos,
even the feet photos.
I do like the feet photos. I like them. I don't like them. I like them.
Let's clear that up, shall we?
Usually, most of my reactions aren't hearts. They're a little custom whiskey glass that I usually do. Like we also have Gary Brooks over there. He puts the bender emoji. Bender's from Futurama. Robot. He does the bender emoji. Yeah, years ago when we started this thing, I paid a guy on Fiverr like $25 to make some custom emojis for us. So we've got a couple of them over there. My cigar's out. I've done a lot of talking. Bob Cigar, take over for just a couple seconds.
So Cigar Pop says, I was late to post, but I did post 4 or 5 this week. Fireborn said, memory is the first thing to go, Mr. Z, but I forget what the second thing is. That's funny.
That's good.
Gary Brooks said, first lady asked for feet pics. All right, let's clear that up. She did not ask for feet pics. She made a humorous joke.
She did. She said, post all the feet pics in the Discord in a comment.
But she's not on the Discord.
No, but she was in a comment on Chief Talk when we had on after he had gotten off, or when we were closing out the show. She did say to go and post all a bunch of feet pics over there because there were a lot of them. Sammy Flo was one of them as well.
Your mom, the influencer.
Yeah. Dan Cruz says, any downsides to smoking cigar tobacco in a pipe? Or is it better to just always use pipe tobacco? I don't recommend. I guess I would not recommend chopping up cigar tobacco, putting it in a pipe, because you're not going to get the same flavor experience out of it chopped up in a pipe as you would as it's intended to be smoked in a cigar. You could.
A couple of years ago, there was a trend where people were taking the nubs of their cigars and they were chopping them up and using them as pipe tobacco. Here's the thing. Pipe tobacco is handled differently. You have what's called, thank you. There are different types of toppings and casings and a way to emote different flavors. The humidity is different. The chop of the tobacco is different. It's more of a chunky chop. If you wanted to have a chunky chop,
if you're going to label me as a tobacco, I'm chunky chop.
But it is a different way. Now, if you're doing a vapor Virginia Perique, you're going to get that
extra point for purple toes.
That's nasty. But you're going to get a different experience. You could smoke it in a pipe, but
yeah,
pipe tobacco was so cheap. A good bowl of pipe tobacco is about 30 cents. So if you buy yourself a tin of good tobacco, like a Lane IQ or a
I think it would be kind of like, if you're gonna do it, just do it to experiment with. But honestly, like it's again, you're right. Buying the per smokable bowl of pipe tobacco versus the time smoking a cigar is way cheaper to do the pipe, right? There's more labor in smoking a pipe. The cigar shop that I was at last week, I was talking about my favorite cigar shop in South Carolina and probably the world, just because of it's the home team. They got a great selection, great lounge, and then just great people all around. They are a huge pipe shop too.
They're a Savinelli and a Peterson distributorship, and they have their own.
They own it.
They have their own pipes called Briarworks, which is a fantastic. I got a Briarworks poker, a rusticated poker that is my favorite. My second favorite pipe. My son made me a pipe this year for Christmas, and so that's
I wanted to try to find a way to get over to that so bad, Gary. Yeah, no, I mean, if you're gonna smoke a pipe, I would say go with the pipe tobacco. And again, pipe tobacco versus cigar tobacco is just so different, right? I mean, it's such a different world. It's not as different as a cigar to a cigarette, but it's kind of comparable in the sense of like smoking a cigarette is if you label me as a smoker, don't label me as a cigarette smoker, right? Like if you label me as a smoker, okay. If you call me a pipe smoker, I'm not going to get nearly as bent out of shape or offended. Don't call me a cigarette smoker.
But they do have blends called cigar blends, which is actually cigar pipe tobacco or cigar tobacco as pipe tobacco.
Adam Wolf, welcome to the show. Actually, you were here earlier, weren't you? Or were we talking on Discord? Maybe it was Discord. Fireborn says, we're fat and sassy, Adam. How about yourself? Yeah, call me Chunky Tobacco. What do you call it? Chunky Cut? Chunky Blend? Chunky, what was it?
I don't remember.
Aw, memories fading. Yeah, I love that Sokka included the pipe tobacco in his Stillwell. I love it. He worked with Jeremy on that. I think it was Jeremy. Is that
Jeremy Reeves.
Yeah.
Which is the master blender for their pipe tobacco.
It was Discord. All right. Yeah, Stillwell does. We were at the Stillwell launch. That the company who launched that cigar, the humidor that launched that cigar, is in South Carolina, down at towards the beach. And when Steve Sokka came down to do the event, we drove down and hung out to be at the event as well. Speak for yourself, Fireborn. I'm just fat. Lies. I've always wanted to try pipe smoking. It's fun to do. Like I was talking about this. I was talking about this last week with Tyler Caldwell at the cigar shop. Shout out Tyler. About I smoke like 3 pipes a year, maybe. Maybe. So, and 2 of them are around Christmas time. So one of the things that we do is the first lady will allow us to smoke pipes in the house Christmas Eve, I think it is, or around the Christmas holiday. And so I'll usually come out here, find one of the pipes, pack it with some tobacco that's out here, and because we have pipe tobacco out here. But there are some, like the bulldog pipe shape. Mm-hmm. I love that shape. I think it's really cool.
I like the poker the best because you can sit it on the table and it sits up. You don't get your actual mouthpiece touching the table. You don't have to rest in some kind of stand or something like that. Keith E says Bayou 32 is yummy. Keith, you need to buy as many as you can because I'm not saying they going away, but
Steve Sokka said it on the video.
They going away.
Steve Sokka said it on our PCA video.
All his children have to eat. As quoted by Steve Sokka.
But no, I love getting to go down to that shop because they have such a great selection of pipes and they display them so cool on the wall. I posted a picture in my stories last week of the wall of pipes that they have, and they sell them online. I can't say where, but they do they do sell them, and they are some beautiful pipes. If I had a lot of just disposable money, I'd buy one, a nice one, like, because I'm only going to smoke it 3 times a year, maybe. So I want something that's just going to be really nice whenever I pull it out and really nice when I put it back in. But they have just huge, like they have regular jars of tobacco, like for pipe tobacco, but then they have like, these are the ones that people, no. These are the ones that people come in and ask for every single day of the week or whatever. And they're just huge pots, glass vessels of pipe tobacco. And they just reach a big old scoop in there. It's like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's like, is this what it was like back in the olden days? Like, yeah, I'm going to get in there and I got to get myself a case of Red Man and a couple bowls of pipe tobacco.
A chow.
Yeah. Let's see. Adam says, I haven't touched my... it moved. Haven't touched my pipe tobacco in about a year. I really should break it out one of these days. Don't do it while it's so dang hot. Unless you can smoke indoors. The murder tent has not made a reprise yet, has it? Michael Zakovic has 3 pipes. Nice. Speaking of Michael Zakovic and the Chi-Town Cigar Podcast, I got to do a show with them on Tuesday. It was a bracket challenge, and it was cartoons facing off against each other. Which cartoons did we like the most? And you know what? There were a couple tough battles on there. A lot of the cartoons were older cartoons, and some of the cartoons were cartoons that you guys would not allow me to watch when I was a kid. So it's kind of like, I don't know which one I'd really go with because I wasn't allowed to watch this when I was a kid. And then that one was 40 years older than before I was born.
That's funny. But
it ended up being a really good show. It was a lot of fun. There were some throwback pictures that were involved in there. There were some wild photos of Chief back in the day.
Yeah, they do dig deep, don't they?
They did. They found the depths of my Facebook account. The photos that I've been tagged in there. So it was pretty good. It was a really fun show. I loved hanging out with those guys. We actually got to keep their streak of 10 plus alive too with my shows. That was nice. I'm glad I didn't come on there and stink out the show and not 10 people didn't show up on the show. So, Gary Brooks says, recent Steve Saka quote when a guy said he has to be careful after retiring. You have 2 kidneys. I guess it's true. When you retire, though, is your kidney really worth anything?
I don't know. I heard you could sell your one of your reproductive receptacles for $60,000.
I wish I'd have got that money. At least half. I mean, we could remove the tumors out of it. Absolutely need to watch it. It was really good. Admiral says, sadly, no murder tent since I've moved to North Carolina. Supreme Tobacco says, if I were to dive into pipe smoking, where should I start? Bob Cigar Guy. That's more for you. Right. Oh, actually, I'll say, definitely go corncob pipe.
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on a pipe unless you want to have something like you, Brian, like with the photos and stuff like that. I'd say corncob pipe, because if you don't like it, well, you only spent $15 at the max on a corncob pipe.
And if you buy a corncob pipe by yourself, what's called the Missouri Meerschaum. They're the best corncob pipes out there. They last. They don't taste. It doesn't taste like corn. It has no corn flavor in it at all. And they are very inexpensive. They don't take a lot of maintenance and care.
And if you like it, and you're trying to figure out how to not burn the piss out of your pipe, you can run through a couple corn cobs before you get into a nice fancy pipe and ruin it. Right? You don't want to spend $160 on a pipe and smoke it 3 times and then burn the full out of it.
Absolutely. I would suggest, if you want to get into something that's got full flavor, get into anything that's got a lot of Kia or a Perique or Oriental. Those are your fuller, heavier flavors. But then you can get into something like a Lane IQ. You can get into something, Lane IQ is real good. The Haunted Bookshop has a lot of good stuff. Cult has a lot of good stuff. Drew Estate used to make tobacco. One of my favorite tobaccos was the Gatsby Flake. Fantastic pipe tobacco as well. That's one of the only pipes that I wish I had a Calabash, which is the big Sherlock Holmes pipe. And then the ones Drew Estate came out with a company called Suge, TSUGE. They had some neat Drew Estate pipes, but those things go for $300-$400 on the secondary market. Ain't no way I'm going to spend that much money on a pipe. But pipe tobacco is very inexpensive. Also, you can go into a pipe shop just like Steven's talking about, and you can pick up the jars.
My wallet thinks you all clear shopping cart.
But you can go to the jars and you just open the jars, you stick your nose in there and you smell it. And the smell really resonates.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of aromatic tobacco.
Absolutely.
I lean into the vanillas and the sweets when it comes to pipe tobacco, because when I think of pipe tobacco, I don't think of musty smell. I don't think of classic cigar smell. I don't think of old school smell. I think of nice, sweet,
rums, cherries.
Yeah.
Butterscotch.
Butterscotch. Butter rum is my favorite. That's what. Thank you for saying butterscotch. Butter rum's my favorite that I've come across.
And you can get some very inexpensive ones at a grocery store. They come in little folding, little like a billfold.
Gary Brooks has one of those to eat.
And it's real easy to flip it open, get yourself a bowl, and go. Now, I will tell you, if you smoke a pipe, smoke it slowly, because if you smoke it fast, it'll burn a spot on your tongue called tongue bite, and it'll taste like ash. And everybody will love the way it smells, but you won't like the way it tastes.
Now, what about I don't know. I don't think you've covered it yet, but what about like lighters? Because you don't stick a triple torch down in the middle of your bowl,
right? Especially if you have an expensive pipe, you're supposed to use matches. It's called the 2-match light, and you have to pack your bowl correctly. I mean, there is some technology to it, some technique to it. If you ever want to get into it for serious, FaceTime me one time and I'll talk you through it. I've got a real good way of packing the bowl and making sure that you get a good draw and everything else, and it's not as much a struggle. And I'll show you the 2-light method, which you light it with 2 different matches. And there's cigar aficionados are very particular. They have styles, they have this and that, but pipe people, they are almost cultish in the way that they do a pipe. I mean, they are very cliquey.
That's why I will never go to one of those like pipe smoking events that are in town every week, is because I would go in there and do something wrong and immediately never go back to that shop which sells cigars because I would be so turned off from the clientele that are there. Because pipe people are like
not all of them.
No, you're right.
But there is a
sept of pipe people that are like, I cannot believe you. They're like, they'll look at you, you call me liberal, you lit that pipe the wrong way.
You can only this pipe can only be used for this pipe tobacco. They will have a different pipe for every pipe tobacco because it's called ghosting, where if you have an aromatic like Stephen and I were talking about, butterscotch, butter rum, and then you try and put a traditional non-flavored tobacco in there, just tobacco flavored, you can taste a little bit of that in it, and so those flavors can actually ghost into your next bowl, which I actually prefer because I like having a little bit of that flavor to it.
Michael Zakovic, when you roll through, remind me of that, and we'll have to set that up to do a pipe show when he comes through. Charles Adams says, my dad had to quit smoking a pipe after inhaling for 50 years. My daughter was about 8 and helped him by washing all his dirty seasoned pipes and dish soap.
My. Oh, my.
That definitely helped him quit.
Oh, my.
Adam Wolf says, I used a Zycar pipe lighter instead of matches, but you still had to be cautious with flame. Those are cool because those are the ones that have the round body on them. And yeah, those are cool. And
Zippo has one too.
The Zippo.
Yeah.
Get that nice kerosene flavor. No, I when it comes to pipes, it's very, like, if I can get a pipe to stay lit for more than 5 minutes, I have had a successful event with a pipe.
But when you get that sweet spot and you get that full chewy smoke, I mean, pipe smoke is so much thicker to me than cigar smoke. It's
second to none.
It is so full. But trying to hit that sweet spot and stay on that sweet spot, you really have to pay attention to it.
Right.
And you have to tamp it down, and you have to
I think that's the thing for me is just how much brain commitment you have to pipes in order to keep the pipe going. Now, I'm sure the more you smoke the pipes, the less it is. Kind of like cigars. Cigars can be a circus as you're trying to keep it lit and as you're trying to keep it to go and all that kind of stuff. And it's like me, a veteran of 10 plus years on cigars. It's like, I don't have those problems. So it's because you've been smoking cigars for 10 years. Well, if you've been smoking pipes for 5 years, 10 years, whatever, you probably you know how to get
you don't
that.
need to think about it.
Yeah, it's second. You can hold a conversation while you're packing your bowl. You're not worried about what you're doing with your bowl.
Right.
Like you know what you're doing. Like, I don't have to look at my cigar to toast it anymore. I just toast it and know when it's ready to go, and I go.
Yeah, and it makes you look smart. And cigars sometimes push people away. A pipe will draw a crowd. Yeah. People will come and hang out with you just because of the smell of the pipe. I mean, the pipe is just as much for you as it is for everybody else in the room.
Jay Bates says, I'm still here, about 14 minutes behind. Feet picks. I need to increase my cigar budget. I encourage everyone to send me $5 so you will get a foot pick. I don't know. You might have some nice feet. Supreme Tobacco says, with all this pipe talk, I'm going to have to spark up a Stillwell Star tonight. Ooh.
That is the perfect combination, right? You get to enjoy it, smoking it like a cigar, but you still get all that pipe essence coming through it as well. So
yeah,
13% pipe tobacco in the Stillwell Star line,
which honestly doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think of a cigar and you kind of think about, how much 10% of a cigar is, like, oh, it's kind of cool. That's kind of broken up through the cigar. So it's 13% of the cigar, but it's throughout 100% of the cigar.
Except the last inch of the
well, yeah, because then you wouldn't. So it's actually more than 13%.
Right.
Theoretically, because if you're going 13% off the full entire thing of the cigar, it's probably more like
18.
Closer, creeping up towards 20% if you don't have
Agreed.
I'm a big fan of the English, which I thought I'd be an aromatic fan because of how much I like aromatic tobacco when it comes to pipes. But the English does it for me. I really like the English.
I'm an aromatic guy.
It was
the holiday blend is my favorite. The 2023.
Well, yeah, the holiday blend. Now when I talk about Stillwell, I don't include the holiday versions just because it's like the one-offs. Yeah, they're
year.
Well, I think the holiday 2022 is year round now.
I think they turned one of the holidays. I think one of the holidays is turning into a regular production.
Yeah, the white label. But I do like the aromatic. There is something to be said about the aromatic, because when you light that cigar up, people are like, ooh, now that's nice. It's the same thing, too, though, with like when you light up a plush or something like that. People are like, ooh, I like the smell
of leather rose or something.
I don't like the taste of it, but I love the smell of it. And that's one thing that the the aromatic does, and I think that's something that the English does really well too. When you light up the English, it smells a lot like the old school pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've been around, pipes and the old school tobacco, what I call old school tobacco smell, like you understand what I'm saying. Charles Adams says my dad was basic. He exclusively smoked Kentucky Club tobacco. Bought it in a big can at Thrifty Drug.
The old joke, and this is back when I was a kid.
Long time ago.
You would call somebody up on the phone that was hooked to the wall with a cord, and you would call them up and you say, "Hey, do you have Prince Albert in a can?" You call a grocery store. You have Prince Albert in a can? And say, "Yeah." We'll say, "Well, let him out." Right?
Oh, that's funny.
Because Prince Albert was a pipe tobacco, and it came in a little tin can.
I thought you were going a different route, but
I'm glad. No, that was way back before that was even spoken of, let alone
I'm sure
a store that had that happen to you.
Man, that's I was wondering where we were going. Well,
generational gap right there,
where the plane was going in that direction.
Yeah,
I do think it's funny though. Like you had to say, we know the phone was connected to the wall. Like you didn't raise me with phones connected to walls as a kid.
You didn't have but we had no wires by the time you were here.
By the time it was
the Cobra cordless.
No, there were a couple phones that had cords that I can remember growing up around.
Your Mimi had one.
And like, people like, oh, you don't know how to use the rotary phone. Like, yes, I do. Like I remember in elementary school, like having to do a couple days of teaching where the rotary phone, like was like a thing. We had like papers that we had like how would you dial 8675309 or whatever, and like we would have to demonstrate how to do it. Like I remember it. Now my children are definitely like, it's funny.
What's a landline, Dad?
I saw this thing on TikTok. It was like, ask your kids to do these certain things, and it was like, have your kid pretend to take a picture with a phone or to take a picture. And you would put like, somebody my age and then a kid right next to him, and you ask them the same question, how to take a picture. And so people my age, it was, like this. Well, kids, it was like taking a picture with an iPhone. I was like, okay, now dial somebody on the phone. And so people my age were, like this. The kids were, they hold their hand like this, and then they would, it was like, now hang up the phone. And so people my age were like, put the phone down. The kids were like, it's funny to see that,
right.
That
is funny.
That gap. One of the things we talked about, speaking of the things getting lost in time and not being relevant anymore, we were talking about the euphoric feeling you had as a kid waking up on a Saturday morning to watch Saturday morning cartoons, and how that's kind of lost on younger people for the last few years now, because you don't have to wake up on Saturday morning to watch those cartoons anymore. You don't even have to like a TV station that you go watch it. You have to find the channel for it. Like you just get on to Disney Plus, or you get on to Paramount or Peacock or whatever, and you select your show and you can watch it at whatever time. You didn't have to wait. You didn't have to get up at a certain time just to watch those shows.
Well, that's like even a farther step. My parents, when they were kids, everything stopped when primetime happened and you had a TV show. Let's say Andy Griffith. They didn't have reruns. If you did not watch Andy Griffith when it came on, you never got to watch Andy Griffith, right? Or the Honeymooners or any of those older shows. So everybody would surround themselves around the TV. That's where TV trays and TV dinners started coming from, because they want to sit in front of the TV and watch TV. And that's when primetime was really primetime.
Gary Brooks says we had a phone with a party line at the cottage. Fireborn with the, is your refrigerator running? You better go catch it.
Right. I remember when we got our first phone that had redial. The radio stations every night you'd call up at such and such a time, whenever what song came on. If you were caller number 10, you won whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And so when you
still had that on the radio today,
right? But when you had redial, when it first came out,
oh
man,
I got you.
You're caller 6, you're caller 7, you're caller 9. So you're the winner, and it was you were upgraded something huge.
So the first lady's chiming in here. She says, "Funny story. We took two of our grandkids to the flea market a couple weeks ago. There was a rotary phone on the table. They had no idea, so we stood there and taught them how to dial the numbers, which is fun. But it's like, who in their right mind, unless they're making an aesthetic corner in their house, or using it for photos, or just being nostalgic, like who in their right mind is like actually buying?
It was only $5.
Okay, but Dave Ramsey would tell you just because it's on sale doesn't mean you need it, right? John Solis says, "How often do you purge your cigar?" So
Never.
I inadvertently, like, it's just become so second nature to me. When we talked about this a couple weeks ago, I do it, I don't know, probably 15, 20 times a cigar. And it's just, if I'm smoking fast, like, and I'm sitting there and I go back again, like I don't purge it. But if I'm smoking slow, like especially tonight, or if I'm sitting with homies and hanging out, there's a lot of times where, it's just second nature. I'll blow out of the cigar before I bring a puff back in. I do it pretty often, actually.
I wear black shirts all the time, and I found that when I would purge, I would put ash on my shirt, and so I just don't. I smoke so fast, I don't even think about it, to be honest.
Gary Brooks says, "Kids don't understand the joy of Saturday morning cartoons."
Captain Crunch.
Matt Berger says, "Here in Antenna TV, there isn't a channel dedicated to old school cartoons." Mike says, "My kid learned how to dial 911 at preschool. I knew they learned it because they handed me the phone when they got home and I was talking to 911.
Oops.
My youngest son knows that if you hold certain buttons on my Apple Watch long enough, it dials 911. Many times early when he was just being nosy into everything, I would hear my watch saying, 'Hello? Hello, do you need an emergency vehicle?' 'No, my son dialed it. I can't find my watch.' 'Stay on the line. Keep talking so I can find it.'"
I forgot about this until you just talked about it. Shepard called me twice on Shanna's phone while you were down there. I'm like, "Hello? Hey, Shanny Jade. Hello?" And then I hear Shanna talking way off in the background.
Yeah.
I said, "Hey, Sheppy," and he didn't say anything. And then I hung up the phone because it would have stayed on.
It's funny because the kids have the Alexa in their room, and they know that the Alexa is connected to Shanna's phone, my wife's phone. And when they can't get a hold of us from shouting from upstairs to downstairs, they'll say, "Alexa, call mommy." Well, because it's attached to my wife's phone, it calls my mother-in-law. And so then my mother-in-law will call my wife and say, "Hey, the kids are trying to call you." And then they get a swift "go to bed" from dad.
Well, when you live in a mansion and y'all are in different ends of the house.
Gary Brooks says, "My grandma had a phone room." I don't know about that. I told Sokka to hold the Siri button. He learned it dials 911 after a countdown with a siren. It does. It does the emergency call. I hate that because it'll go off in your pocket. Sometimes you're sitting wrong and your pants just grab the button just right. It's like, "Oh God, get my fat leg over. Get out. I hate that. I hate that function. I'm sure there's a way to turn it off. I'm not that intrigued into doing it because it hasn't happened near as much as it hasn't as it did a couple years ago. Since being, active in the gym, my legs don't cramp on my phone in my pocket anymore.
I gotta tell you, you just turned sideways, and that beard is gray on the side of your face.
Oh yeah,
holy smokes!
Yeah, this is the gray side too.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, it's bad, man. Well, it's funny because I don't have any gray hair. Right, I don't have any gray hair up here, and I have this huge patch of gray right here. And I've got gray
just for men, 5 minutes.
I'm fine with it. I remember you always talking about your gray because you only had the gray right here,
and it just kept growing.
And people talk about it, you'd be like, "Oh, it's just right there. I look like Stephen Strange or whatever." It's like, okay, and then it started to take over, and now you got a pretty gray head.
No, my hair is brown,
and it's funny
No. My hair is. Look at that right
where's
there.
Where's it at? Where's it? Just that forehead keeps going back.
Man,
buddy.
I got a bad haircut 3 weeks ago, and I have still not recovered
that
from it.
That hairline kept going.
That lady messed my head
you
up.
got a Bluetooth hairline,
and then I had to show my wife, the first lady, and Gracie my hair, and they were like, "Oh, I wore a hat the first 2 days after I got my haircut because it was so bad."
Well, your beard is mostly gray. Like sometimes you'll grow your beard out every once in a while, and it is dark white.
It started here where it was just gray there, and then it just started working up until it just keeps going.
No, this patch right here, it is solid gray. My barber makes fun of me every time. She's like, do I need to bring a color kit next time? No, Felicia, stay away from me. Stay away from me. She's still mad at me for not asking her to come out here and do our nose waxing a couple years ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she was like, I do waxing. I was like, I didn't want a professional to do it. We were just doing it to be stupid.
And then we had people call us to say, "Don't ever do that again. You could have ripped out your vessels in your nose and hemorrhaged and died." Evidently, you don't cram it to your brain.
Cigar Pops out of here. Welcome, or thanks for hanging out with us. Doesn't even appreciate you. Adam Wolf says, "Appreciate you talking about having hair while I'm seated here bald headed. You've been bald a while, brother. Now you got a nice beard, so that salt and pepper look is rugged though." There was a
it wasn't TikTok, it was Facebook Reels or whatever, and there was a dude coming on, and the whole song was "Big body bearded bald head dude, big body bearded bald head dude," and he was just walking around singing that whole thing, and I was
going, my wife popped on and says, "Love my old fart gray and all." Thanks, babe. Appreciate it.
Well, you get that before you didn't have gray before you got married.
I didn't. And notice how I will not disparage my wife and talk about her gray hair.
You better not.
I didn't. I'm not.
Only the hairdresser knows.
Look, I'm at the point in my life where it's like, why the heck
you earned it?
Why would I spend money? Because you have to, like, I know people who go to the hairdresser like religiously and get hair retouched up.
Yeah,
it's
here's the thing.
You know how much money they're spending just to prolong the inevitable when they say, "Fine, just let it all go."
Yeah, and you're working at a shop, and all of a sudden you got all this gray, and the next day you come in and it's midnight jet black, right. And then you skip a couple of weeks, and then you've got this gray line coming in. Everybody's gonna know, right?
That's like the girls when I was in high school. Dyeing your hair blonde was a big thing. I don't know if it still is today or not, but they'd come in, from summer break or whatever, and be like, "Oh, look, my hair color changed during the summer because of the sun." And 3 weeks later, they get this real dark strip right in the middle of their hair. It's like, your roots are showing.
Yeah.
Michael Zachfix says, "Chief, you need to reach a new level in your marriage when you help your wife color her hair." My wife doesn't need her hair colored. St. Phyllis says, "I'm smart. You don't know how dumb I am. I'm pretty dumb. I do be doing some stupid stuff." Charles Adamson says, "There's nothing worse than an old man with obvious bad hair color." That's like toupees,
right?
Like, dog, let it go. Like, dude, Carlito Fuente, let it go, brother. It is obvious and it is bad. It's okay. Embrace the bald is in. Like, I've always told my wife, and I've told other people, like, when my hair, because I've got some nasty widow's peaks, right? Because I wear a hat all the time. And I've got thin hair. I have hair. I have a lot of hair. Just my hair follicles are very fine. They're very thin. And so when like my hair is like freshly dried and it's in like that fluffy state or whatever, like you can see my whole entire scalp. And so I don't wear a hat just because I wear a hat because my hair grows so dang fast and I'm tired of doing it all the time. And it's just comfortable to wear a hat for me. It's kind of like an accessory for me. But I've told my wife and I've told other people, like, when it's time for my hair to go, it's going, man. I'm just going to take care of it. Go right off, because there's nothing worse than a dude who's just
hanging
on like, oh, come on, man. And it's like your dad, my granddaddy, he was bald all of my life, but he had the
old man haircut.
He had the Professor X going on, like the Professor X headphones, where it was like super bald on top and then just like the patch of hair that went all around. It's like, why do you keep that? And like, people who do that, like, they go in and get their hair cut and like they leave that on
intentionally.
It's like, wow, like just take it off, brother.
Yeah,
take it off.
If you wear a hat, nobody ever sees it.
I mean, that is true.
Now, have you ever seen people that have that old man hairstyle, and then they go in and they get a real hairpiece put on, and they look 30 years younger? I mean,
that's
they
the man
really,
unit.
really do.
It's called a man unit.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So I didn't know that.
So, and those have been around for a long time. Like Steve Harvey was like professional man unit wearer for most of his comedy tour. It wasn't his, like when he was Mr. Hightower,
yeah,
you know, with the high top and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't real. It was a man unit. And, you know, they have it today where, you know, if you do have the situation where your hairline's, you know, it's starting to creep up a little bit, but you still got this hair, you know, all in around here, you know, you go in, they'll shave your head down real close. They'll put the glue on and you can put that thing on there and you can shower with it. You can swim with it, all that kind of stuff. But it's expensive. Like,
here's the thing.
Why spend money on that when you can spend money on so many other different things?
If you're a man that has a good set of skills, you can fix things, you can build things, you can do things, and you got a little bit of money in your pocket,
green.
You don't have to look pretty.
Red, green.
The only guys that have to look pretty are the guys that are broke and they can't fix nothing because they got to have some reason. If they don't
find you handsome, they ought to find you handy.
Absolutely.
So, and that's the thing. It's like, but here's the thing. It's like bald is a look now. Like bald's a thing. You've got a lot of dudes in Hollywood. You got a lot of dudes who are professional athletes who rock the bald cut.
Law ring.
I mean, could you imagine? Like, and I've done this because I had cancer, right? I had chemotherapy. All my hair came out. It was such a nice shower experience, man. I mean, there was nothing sillier than, you know, having the muscle memory of, you know, washing your hair when I was going through chemo and I had lost all my hair, of putting a fat dollop of shampoo in your hair and then going and just slicking right back. Literally, it's like having a sweaty butt sitting on a toilet seat. So
that's funny.
You know, one of those situations.
Now, a bunch of us shaved our heads when you went through that. And I'm not going to say I was envious because that sounds really, really weird. But I was like, I had to shave my head every other day.
You had to keep it up.
I had to keep shaving my head every other day with razors.
Oh, darn. You didn't have to go through the trauma of pulling out your own hair.
It really doesn't age well with me. But I was going, God, he don't have to shave his head. Now I got to shave my head.
Yeah, that's right. Definitely. I get the envy part there. Like, I mean, this guy's not having to do anything to keep up this look.
Yeah.
And I guess that's one of the arguments for dudes who are like going bald and aren't exactly bald yet. It's like, well, yeah, that guy, he doesn't have to shave his hair every morning. It's like, I got to shave mine or else I got stubble everywhere. So it's easier just to let the stubble go. But I don't know, man. There's so many technological advances that have come out in the sense of like laser surgery or even just the shavers themselves. Like, you know, you don't have to, it's not just the
it's like a kind of sort of thing on your fingers, and it's a actual beard razor kind of thing.
Yeah, you can get ones that are, you know, it's like a palm sander almost. Yeah. It's kind of contours to your big old egg head and just go. So I mean,
and with my frame, I looked a lot like the Kingpin. I'd walk into grocery stores and people thought I had stole a pack of hot dogs on the back of my neck.
Gary Brooks says Elon Musk show that if you can have a nice head of hair if you have a lot of money. No, that's true. If you got the money, you absolutely can. Adam Wolf says, Chief, come join the bald and bearded brotherhood. Not one day it will happen. It's not to the point. Like I still have a head of hair. Like I got a lot of hair up here, so it's not like I'm getting close. I just, like I said, I mean, I've had a hat on all day, so my hair probably looks like crap. But yeah, I got these widow peaks, baby. But you know, I still got a lot of hair. I mean, we're not going to sit here and pretend like there's, you know, I'm going like I need to, you know, shave my hair because there's no hope left for mankind on the top of my head. It is so weird going from having the headphones on, hearing yourself talk, to not having the headphones.
Right. It is totally different.
It's like, oh God, something sounds wrong. I was like, no, you just took your headphones off. Let's see. Liz won't let me have a big old beer. Come on, Liz. Liz, let him do it. Retired Rookie Cigar says, am I late?
Never.
I mean,
never.
No, we're still running. We've been on for an hour and 40 minutes, but hey, I'm glad you're here. What are you smoking? What are you drinking? I want to know. So general consensus on the Decenio from AJ Fernandez. Really good cigar. I don't remember what I paid for it. I want to say it was not a budget stick. I can do a little research real quick. $14. Yeah, $14 for the stick. That's at MSRP on another website, so I don't know if that's exactly what I paid for it, but good cigar, not a bad stick at all. It did amp up in that final third, and there is a little bit of graham cracker sweetness on the retrohale. Not that you would ever experience that, Bob Cigar Guy, but for those who do love retrohaling or experience retrohale during their smoke, about midway through the cigar, I started to get a nice little graham cracker sweetness on the retro that comes through real nice on the side of the palate. How did you like your Davidoff?
I liked it. It's got that Davidoff quality where the flavors are just one ends and one begins. They really just kind of blend really, really well. That European palate, it was delicious. It's a little on the spicy side, but not bad at all. But now I'm almost done. Gary Brooks done made me feel bad, so I'm way into the Umbagog now. So I'm three cigars in.
Oh, so bad.
I'm three cigars in today.
Yeah, we should get an AI bot to see how many words were spoken by each counterpart here tonight. See why that was. Because every time I have to relight my cigar or take a sip of my drink, it's real quiet. Because no, the Decenio was really. I'm liking this. What was it? The New World they came out with, the Dorado. The Dorado. That was the last really good cigar from AJ, right? Because like the El Pulpo, the Viva La Vida, those are by AJ. There's other cigars out there that are by AJ. They're not AJ cigars, but as an AJ cigar, from the New World line, they're, I would say, probably their most popular line. The Decenio is really good. 10-year anniversary. So I'm a big fan of it. I'm happy that I picked one up. I am looking forward to the what is it? Aledo? Yeah, the Aledo from Blackworks. And then I saw Adam Wolf was going to light one up, the Broadway from Crown Heads. I've got that one to smoke as well that I'm looking forward to, that are new releases this year. Have you smoked the Aledo yet from Black?
I have not. I just got it.
Okay.
I've been working so much at work, and we're going to work through the weekend, and we're just I know, right? So the only cigars I really smoked is cigars for review. I have smoked a couple.
Look at this! Look at that!
11 cigars in. That's what I'm talking about. That's you know what? That's winning right there.
Adam says if you guys haven't spoken about it, the new Perdomo Legacy Sungrown is phenomenal. I have not smoked anything. I might have smoked a champagne.
You have smoked a champagne
at some point in time, but anything else from Perdomo I've never smoked. So I need to get a hold of some Perdomo to see what I'm missing out on.
The Pilon is good. The Perdomo Pilon is good. I'm not very deep in Perdomo either.
Gearbrook says, I have some of the Blackworks coming. Can't wait. Retired Rookie Cigar says, Legacy Shade, the Shade Grown. It'll fool you. Oh, it's a little sleeper on you, huh?
Shade Plus.
The Legacy Nicaraguan Shade Grown is fire. I assume that's the Perdomo. I think Perdomo has the Legacy brand, the line. 11 cigars. That's very commendable. I mean, that's like, I think that's I'm around 11, 12, 13, somewhere in that range. I don't remember exactly which one it is. Maybe I just need to like set a record this year for myself. Maybe I just need to, one of the barn smokers this year, just chooch them out.
Yeah, but then you'll say, well, you can't taste after the third cigar.
Oh, well, I mean, it's not I didn't say the third. It's not that you can't taste at that many. Obviously, you're going to taste cigar. You're just not going to get all of the flavor notes as intended, in my opinion. If you smoke 12 cigars in a row and that 13th cigar comes and it's a cigar that has a bunch of nuanced notes, you're not going to get them all. There's no way.
That's fair.
There's no way.
Which is what I said. You're walking it back.
Supreme Tobacco says it's not walking it back. It's the same thing. I'm just clarifying what I said last time. Supreme Tobacco says I had 3 the other day and was feeling like I was big chiefing. My man. Mike says he thinks the Pilon was CAO. I think the Pilon is CAO.
I think CAO has a Pilon, but Perdomo had one as well because I did a review on it when I used to review on the back porch. That's why I remember it. Way back when. And the Pilon is a round Pilon, not a long Pilon. And I did all the research on it. That's the only reason I remember it because I don't remember the flavors of that cigar.
I don't know.
8 years ago, probably.
I don't think there's a Perdomo Pilon. There's the CAO Pilon.
Smoke one cigar from each line of Drew Estate. How many will that be? Probably 75.
Jeez. Man. That's a lot.
Probably.
I mean, if you
probably
went
75. Because you got 10 acids. You've got...
Oh, you got more than 10 acids.
7 deadwoods.
Yeah, you got way more. You got...
How many ligas do you have?
Yeah, when you get into the Unicos, I mean...
Yeah, and then you got the Herrera line.
Right.
You've got the tobacco line. You've got...
Yeah, all the Herrera. You got Kentucky Fire Courage. You've got the Deadwood line. You've got Liga. You've got Norteños. Or, sorry, you've got Nicaristicas. You've got all the acid. I mean, yeah, you're looking at individual blends, not even breaking it down. Not even breaking it down into Vitolas, right?
No, Vitolas should be 200 deep.
Yeah, you'd be smoking
at
forever.
least.
Now, trying to smoke, smoking the whole entire barn smoker pack at a barn smoker, woof. I don't think you could do it at the barn smoker and not have a good time, at least. Because I don't think you'd be able to pay attention to everything going on if you just sat down and smoked all the cigars.
No, you couldn't.
Especially if you're smoking them, right? Not smoking. I smoked half the cigar, so let me go ahead and get it. Don't pull a Chief Scuba Steve moment, right? Where you find a way to cheat the cigar. Making Poor Decisions says, I smoke when I drive and I smoke a lot during events. I smoke nice sticks in the morning and budget the rest of the day. Smoke one cigar from each line of Drew Estates. How many would that be? A lot. Meaning just
still
one.
20.
Oh, one Deadwood, one Acid, one Liga. Oh, I mean, you're still smoking.
Still 20.
I don't know.
All right.
Okay, so Undercrown, Liga. And you can't just go Herrera as Herrera because you could go Herrera. You could lump in like the Habano and the Brazilian, but you couldn't. I would not lump in the Norteño. So I'd like the Herrera line, then Norteño. That's 4. Kentucky Fire Cured. Did I already say? Did I say Liga?
Tobacco is 6.
Yeah.
Acid is 7. Tobacco is 8. Ambrosia is 9.
You already said tobacco once. Ambrosia. So now we're at 8. And I'm sure we're blackened. Deadwood. That's 10 right there. 10 brands. The Dominicana. I would
count that as separate. I wouldn't count that as Deadwood.
Okay, so now you're at 11. I mean, do you count Ambassador cigars in those lines? Like
that's all your Ligas.
Well, no, because you have the Cajachina,
all right, so
which is a Herrera.
That's Herrera.
You have the Undercrown 10,
which is Undercrown,
and then you have the Savage Feast,
which is
Liga A, depending on which event you're at. Matt Brugger, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, brother. I'm sure there's others that we're missing out. I'm for sure. I mean, obviously, it's a lot easier when you're sitting there looking at all the stuff, and it's kind of hard to just break it down brand by brand.
And see, there's so many Ligas. There's so many Ligas. There's so many acids. There's so many,
Pappy Van Winkle.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I'm thinking of Barn Smoker. We said tobacco.
20 acre farm.
20 acre farm. Yeah. So now you're at 12. And that's just what we can think of, just off the top
of our head.
And then, and again, when you go, we're just going by brand lines, right? Let's see if the old Google box, how many brands are there within not with a G.
The natural.
Drew Estate. Brands. Let's see. I am over 21. Acid, Deadwood, the Dominicana, Tabac, Kentucky Fire Cured, Pappy Van Winkle, 20 Acre Farm, Undercrown, and they have it set up as different Undercrowns, so we're going to lump that as one. Liga Privada, Nica Rustica, Herrera Esteli, Isla del Sol, La Vieja Habana, Ambrosia, the Subculture, and then the Factory Smokes.
And you've got the year of.
Those are Ligas. Those are Liga Privada. But this does have the Deadwood, so this must be pretty up to date. Because they have different Undercrown, like they have Undercrown 10, Undercrown Maduro, and Undercrown Shade. They don't have the Sun Grown on there, so this is pretty up to date. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So they have the Subculture blends on there, but I'm not sure. So 17 if we don't count Subculture blends. But then you could technically get into Java, right? You could say Java.
Yeah.
You could say La Coalición.
Yeah.
Which was a collaboration with John Huber with Crowned Heads. So, I mean...
All Out Kings.
Was Blackened on here? Oh, Blackened's not on here, is it? So, yeah, we're at like 19.
20. All Out Kings. Rick Harris's Smoking Monk. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, so, I mean, you just smoking brand by brandagers, I don't think you could do it in one day.
Rick Harris said Nightshade. That's another one. Legacy. Or Legend. Is it Legend or Legacy?
The Legend.
Legend.
That's JR, I think. It might be I think it's Legend. Yeah, so it's in the 20-ish range, somewhere in that range, depending on what you count. Because in now, you can't count Herrera Miami anymore either, because that's gone. Which technically you can't count. They have Norteño on the website, but Norteño's gone.
They're not making anymore.
Well, right. But there were some things like I said earlier, you could do it in 24 hours. Yeah. But it would have to be a dedicated attempt to do.
I still want to do that, one cigar an hour for 24 hours.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to do all one company, would you?
Depends if I got sponsored.
So we need there's 4 companies out there that you could do that with. Well, I guess though, if you did 24 cigars in 24 hours, it wouldn't have to be 24 different brands within a company. It would just be 24 cigars from one company. And you would want 24 different cigars. So you could do 4 different Undercrown, right? You could do Undercrown Shade, Undercrown Maduro, Undercrown Sungrown, Undercrown 10.
You could do 24 Ligas.
You think?
Well, you got all the years.
I guess you're right, because H99's got 7 different, including international. It's got 7 or 8 different Vitolas.
And then the Velvet Rat, the Nasty.
Yeah, you're probably right with over 20, because you've got all the years, you've got all of the different H99s, different Liga 9s.
But boy, that would be a long day. That's heavy on heavy on heavy on heavy on heavy.
Brian says you could probably do 24 chunks in 24 hours.
That only counts for 6 cigars.
Jimmy J says just do them all the 10s. Get done in 15 minutes and be out. That sounds like it sounds like you wouldn't be able to go to sleep. When I smoke more than 3 cigars in a day, I don't go to sleep until really late.
You'd have to peel your tongue, the first layers of your tongue.
We got Feral Flying Pig in the legal lineup as well. And that's the thing too, is you got all the pigs, because they're different. You smoke an Undercrown Pig and then you smoke a regular Undercrown, and it is a different beast of a cigar. Called the special show 24 Ligas Under the Sea.
No.
That's funny though.
I don't know if I can handle 24 Ligas in a day. Of course, I did 13, 14 Savage Feast in Dallas that time. But I was on a different level that day. That was crazy.
Have a live stream where you have 24 and 24 in each hour. Have a different viewer join you for
that's kind of what I want to do. I want to do something like that. I just hadn't figured out how to do it.
I don't think StreamYard allows you to do streams that long though. I don't remember if there's a cutoff time for that. We would need to look into that. I'm sure you could stop a stream and start a new stream. Just create.
Yeah, but I'd have to have you here for 24 hours.
Well, we get it sponsored, and that's a different situation. We could do 24 viewers doing ligas. Gary Brooks says he'd do 24 ligas with you,
and then have guests on.
That would be cool. Come up with you've got 60 minutes per hour, right? So come up with 10 questions, and for the first 30 minutes or so, you do questions with that person. You do a 5-minute intro on that person, hanging out. Hey, what you doing? What are you choosing to smoke during this hour? Then you have your 10 questions. And then you sit back, relax for another 20 minutes, and then you kick them off the last 10 minutes of the hour. Say, hey, this is I'm going to go run to the bathroom real quick. Whatever. It would need to be a produced show,
right?
It would need to be a show that I'm over here running, and then if I need to go to the bathroom or I need to go eat something or do whatever, you can take over and run from your side. It's something that could happen, but that's got to be a sponsored show.
And we could put out a list of the 24 cigars and what hours those cigars would be, and then people could buy those cigars and they could join in. We could actually have people at the bottom on the chat,
attach it to attach it to a GoFundMe too, to where you can raise money for Cigars for Warriors or something like that. So
this is an idea.
Oh, look what you guys have done. You guys are gonna have to commit to this too. Like, we're gonna need people watching at 3:00 in the morning with us. We're gonna need and that's the thing too, is like, if we're going to do 24 viewers in 24 hours, we're going to need people to be committed to, hey, so like we would have to bank on some time zone people's, when it's 3:00 here, Eastern time, we call somebody over on the West Coast when it's just 12:00 there. And it's like, hey, I know it's just 12:00 for you, but can you help us with our 3-4 o'clock hour, mark, and then find somebody who wants to wake up early and do the 5 o'clock hour. Making Poor Decisions says he's in. He wants to come.
We'll need to figure that out. Oh my God! Think if we had in-studio audience.
Oh man, I don't know about audience.
I'd have to rent a porta john.
We have to rent some chairs
because I can't see nobody going in the house and 3:00 in the morning. The first lady sleep, and I got to go pee. Nope. Mm-mm. Off the porch where the dead grass is.
Yeah, there's a lot of it right now. All right, we are right here at the 2-hour mark of the show. Again, we do want to say a big thank you to Drew Estate and Natura Cigar for making sure that Chief Talk is available for you all every single week, making sure that we have a space where we can hang out with the culture, hang out with the people who make cigars great. And we really appreciate you. Bob Cigar Guy, anything you'd like to say before we get on out of here?
Yes, even though last month is over and that was men's mental health does not stop in 30 days. Men's mental health is all the time. Everybody's mental health.
Mental health in general, right?
Yeah, life is too short to not enjoy it and to feel like you're there with a purpose. So I hope that if you're going through struggles, that you'll reach out to somebody and get help. You can reach out to me and Steven as well. We don't have any answers, but we
go by Chief too. So
that's right, Chief. We don't have any answers, but we have ears and we're willing to listen and be there for you. So thanks for tuning in with us. We had 28, 29, almost the whole show, and it's finally down to about 17. So it's been a great show. Chief, welcome back. I'm glad you're back. Now, I got to go to work at 4:30 in the morning, so I'm glad the show is coming to an end.
We do have the First Lady show this Saturday. Second Saturday is the First Lady. And I think Bob Cigar Guy will not be available to be here, so I will most likely be producing the studio. Luckily, I don't have to bring my computer over to do it. I can run it from your side. So we'll got to make sure that this gets hooked back up to your computer before then, so I don't have to do all that. But no, you're absolutely right. Mental health is a huge thing, and we did jump on board with men's mental health last month, as June was men's mental health, but we are now in July. But your health, your mental health matters just as much now as it did then. Whether you are a dude or a lady, we're here for you. Hit us in the DMs if you need us. I'm so glad that there are so many friends within the chat that you guys are going back and forth and having a good time talking with each other. Feel free to reach out. Also, hit us up on the Discord. The second link in the description is our Discord, where we're all hanging out heavy throughout the rest of the week when it's not Thursday night. Do thank you all for hanging out with us. Bob the Cigar Guy is right. We did have about 28 people running the length of the show, the whole entire show, this show. So it was nice to see that it wasn't a dead show after taking a break. We've experienced that before, where shows will not do well after taking a break, and it was nice to see that 2 minutes into the show we had 22 people, and we got up to 34 tonight. So congratulations. We continue the streak, and then we hit the 30 streak again. Again, big thanks to Drew Estate Cigar and Natura Cigar for making sure that we have Chief Talk every single week. Shout out everybody who hung out with us tonight. I appreciate it. Do check out Drew Estate Cigars and Natura Cigars, wherever you can find them. Give them a little love, as they have given us a lot of love. I thank you all for hanging out with us. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Have you checked out ChevetteReport.com? It's the newest cigar media outlet to keep you in the know with all things cigar lifestyle related. From press releases to reviews, we have it all covered. Be some of our first members to join ChevetteReport.com and be a part of the next step in the cigar culture. ChevetteReport.com.
Time to relax. Whew. Man, I'm beat. Whew. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Show's over. Go home. Go home. Show's over. What are you waiting for? You waiting for another show? This is a one-ticket entry. Go. Bye. Go. Go.